Correspondent.
ผู้สื่อข่าว
The news correspondent reported live from the scene of the breaking story. Corresponding.
ที่สอดคล้องกัน
In math, the corresponding angles of two parallel lines are equal. Corrupt.
ทุจริต
Corrupt practices in the government led to calls for transparency and reform. Corruption.
คอร์รัปชัน
The organization worked tirelessly to expose and eradicate corruption. Costly.
มีราคาแพง
Maintaining luxury cars can be costly due to high repair expenses. Councillor.
สมาชิกสภา
The city councillor addressed concerns raised by residents at the community meeting. Counseling.
การให้คำปรึกษา
Professional counseling provides support for individuals facing mental health challenges. Counselor.
ที่ปรึกษา
The counselor guided clients through the process of making positive life changes. Counter.
เคาน์เตอร์
In a debate, each participant has the opportunity to counter the opponent's arguments. Counterpart.
คู่กัน
The scientist collaborated with her international counterpart on the research project. Countless.
นับไม่ถ้วน
There are countless stars in the night sky, each with its own unique story. Coup.
ทำรัฐประหาร
The military coup led to significant political changes in the country. Courtesy.
ความสุภาพ
Showing courtesy by holding the door open for others is a simple yet impactful gesture. Craft.
งานฝีมือ
Skilled artisans craft beautiful pottery using traditional techniques. Crawl.
คลาน
Babies typically learn to crawl before they begin walking. Creator.
ผู้สร้าง
The artist is the creator of the stunning mural adorning the city wall. Credibility.
ความน่าเชื่อถือ
A reliable news source maintains credibility by verifying information before publication. Credible.
น่าเชื่อถือ
Witness testimony is more credible when supported by concrete evidence. Creep.
คืบคลาน
The spider seemed to creep slowly across the kitchen floor. Critique.
คำวิจารณ์
The art professor offered a constructive critique of the student's painting. Crown.
มงกุฎ
The queen's crown sparkled with diamonds and precious gemstones. Crude.
น้ำมันดิบ
Oil extracted from the ground undergoes refining to remove crude impurities. Crush.
บดขยี้
Students may crush leaves to observe their distinct scents during a nature study. Crystal.
คริสตัล
The crystal clear lake reflected the surrounding mountains on a sunny day. Cult.
ลัทธิ
The ancient civilization practiced a religious cult centered around nature. Cultivate.
ปลูกฝัง
Farmers cultivate crops through a combination of planting and nurturing. Curiosity.
ความอยากรู้
Children's natural curiosity often leads them to ask questions about the world around them. Custody.
การดูแล
After the divorce, joint custody arrangements were made for the children. Cutting.
การตัด
The gardener propagated new plants through the use of cuttings. Cynical.
เหยียดหยาม
Some individuals become cynical after experiencing disappointment or betrayal. Dam.
เขื่อน
The beavers constructed a dam across the river to create a pond. Damaging.
สร้างความเสียหาย
Smoking is known for its damaging effects on lung health. Dawn.
รุ่งอรุณ
The beautiful colors of dawn painted the sky as the sun began to rise. Debris.
เศษซาก
After the construction project, workers cleared away the debris and rubble. Debut.
เปิดตัวครั้งแรก
The singer's debut album received positive reviews from music critics. Decision-making.
การตัดสินใจ
Effective decision-making is crucial for successful project management. Decisive.
เด็ดขาด
The team captain's decisive actions led to a game-changing goal. Declaration.
ประกาศ
The president made a declaration announcing a national holiday. Dedicated.
อุทิศ
The volunteers were dedicated to helping their community in times of need. Dedication.
การอุทิศตน
The author expressed her dedication to writing through years of hard work. Deed.
การกระท
Performing a kind deed can brighten someone's day. Deem.
ถือว่า
After careful consideration, the judge will deem whether the evidence is admissible. Default.
ำค่าเริ่มต้น
The computer program returned to its default settings after a system update. Defect.
ข้อบกพร่อง
The manufacturer issued a recall due to a defect in the product. Defensive.
การป้องกัน
The team played a defensive game to protect their lead. Deficiency.
ขาด
A deficiency in certain vitamins can lead to health issues. Deficit.
การขาดดุล
The government aimed to reduce the budget deficit through fiscal policies. Defy.
ท้า
The courageous activist chose to defy unjust laws in the pursuit of justice. Delegate.
ผู้รับมอบสิทธิ์
Each delegate at the conference represented a different country. Delegation.
การมอบหมาย
The diplomatic delegation engaged in discussions to promote international cooperation. Delicate.
ละเอียดอ่อน
Handling delicate glassware requires careful attention to avoid breakage. Demon.
ปีศาจ
Folklore often features stories of heroes facing evil demons. Denial.
การปฏิเสธ
The accused maintained their innocence and entered a plea of denial. Denounce.
ประนาม
Activists denounce social injustices and call for change. Dense.
หนาแน่น
The dense forest was home to a variety of wildlife species. Density.
ความหนาแน่น
The scientist measured the density of the liquid using specialized equipment. Dependence.
การพึ่งพาอาศัยกัน
The child's dependence on their parents gradually lessened as they grew older. Depict.
พันนา
The mural was created to depict the history and culture of the neighborhood. Deploy.
ปรับใช้
The military decided to deploy additional troops to the conflict zone. Deployment.
การใช้งาน
The rapid deployment of emergency services was crucial during the natural disaster. Deposit.
เงินฝาก
The bank customer decided to deposit some money into their savings account. Deprive.
กีดกัน
Parents should not deprive their children of basic needs such as education and love. Deputy.
รอง
In the absence of the sheriff, the deputy took charge of maintaining law and order. Descend.
ลงมา
The climbers began to descend the mountain carefully, aware of the slippery terrain. Descent.
การลง เชื้อสาย
The hikers enjoyed a gradual descent from the summit, taking in breathtaking views. Designate.
กำหนด
The sign on the door clearly designates the room as a conference space. Desirable.
เป็นที่น่าพอใจ
A good neighborhood should have desirable features like safety and amenities. Desktop.
เดสก์ท็อป
A cluttered desktop can make it difficult to find important files on a computer. Destructive.
ทำลายล้าง
Hurricanes can be incredibly destructive, causing extensive damage to buildings. Detain.
กักขัง
The police may detain individuals suspected of committing a crime for questioning. Detection.
การตรวจจับ
Early detection of diseases is crucial for effective medical treatment. Detention.
การคุมขัง
Students may face detention for violating school rules. Deteriorate.
เสื่อมโทรม
If left untreated, metal exposed to harsh weather conditions can deteriorate quickly. Devastate.
ทำลายล้าง
Natural disasters can devastate entire communities, causing loss of life and property. Devil.
ปีศาจ
In folklore, the devil is often portrayed as a malevolent supernatural being. Devise.
ประดิษฐ์
Engineers work together to devise a plan to improve energy efficiency. Diagnose.
วินิจฉัย
Doctors use various tests to diagnose illnesses and determine appropriate treatments. Diagnosis.
การวินิจฉัย
Receiving an accurate diagnosis is essential for planning effective medical care. Dictate.
กำหนด
The leader chose to dictate the terms of the agreement during negotiations. Dictator.
เผด็จการ
The dictator ruled the country with an iron fist, suppressing dissent. Differentiate.
แตกต่าง
Teachers use various methods to help students differentiate between similar-sounding words. Dignity.
ศักดิ์ศรี
Treating every individual with dignity is a fundamental principle of human rights. Dilemma.
ภาวะที่กลืนไม่เข้าคายไม่ออก
The ethical dilemma required careful consideration of competing values. Dimension.
มิติ ขนาด
Architects consider the dimension of space when designing buildings. Diminish.
ลดน้อยลง
Conservation efforts aim to diminish the impact of human activities on the environment. Dip.
จุ่ม
She decided to dip her brush into the paint to start the artwork. Diplomat.
ทูต นักการทูต
Diplomats work to build relationships and resolve conflicts between nations. Diplomatic.
การทูต
The diplomatic approach to international relations emphasizes dialogue and cooperation. Directory.
Directory
The phone directory contains contact information for local businesses and residents. Disastrous.
หายนะ
The hurricane had a disastrous impact on coastal communities, causing widespread destruction. Discard.
ทิ้ง
When the product is defective, manufacturers may choose to discard it rather than sell it. Discharge.
ปล่อย
The hospital will discharge the patient once they are deemed medically stable. Disclose.
เปิดเผย
Whistleblowers often disclose information about unethical practices within organizations. Disclosure.
การเปิดเผย
The public demanded full disclosure of the government's actions in the controversial matter. Discourse.
วาทกรรม
Academic discourse involves the exchange of ideas and intellectual discussions. Discretion.
ดุลยพินิจ
Judges have discretion in determining appropriate sentences for criminal offenses. Discrimination.
การเลือกปฏิบัติ
Laws are in place to prevent discrimination based on race, gender, or religion. Dismissal.
การเลิกจ้าง
The employee faced dismissal for consistently violating company policies. Displace.
แทนที่
Natural disasters can displace entire communities, forcing residents to seek shelter. Disposal.
การกำจัด
Proper disposal of waste is essential for environmental conservation.